VA's dad diagnosed with cancer. How did she cope up? Find out more in this touching episode of Sphere Rocket Podcast Network. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's me again, Julia, and welcome to another episode of Sphere Rocket Podcast Network. Another day, so is another podcast. So I'm very excited for you guys to meet another awesome virtual assistant guest that we have today. Of course, I hope you guys are hungry, thirsty for more knowledge. For those who are watching that are planning to become VAs, all of that stuff, this is the right place or episode or podcast for you. Everybody is open to watch and listen to this very inspiring success story journey that we have because of our guest today. So, yeah, I hope you guys are settled in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. If you guys are eating comfort foods right now, you're free to do that. Your coffee, whatever snacks that you're munching on right now. That's totally fine. Enjoy the rest of course, the meal that you're having, if ever you are, while watching and listening to this podcast. So yeah, let's not keep her waiting. Of course, our guest is already with us right now. And with that said, let's give a warm welcome to our awesome virtual assistant guest. We've got Miss Angelika. Hi, Angelika. How are you doing today?
Hi, Miss Julia. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for inviting me tonight.
Awesome. That's great to know. And I'm very excited. How did you feel when you got invited as well?
Of course, I was so pleasured to have been invited to the podcast because not everybody would be invited here. So it's such a pleasure to be with you all tonight.
Exactly. I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love the positive energy, Miss Angelika. And yeah, it's such an honor to have you once again and to have you and, share anything you want to put on the table to the guests who are watching right now. So yeah, they're actually curious, even me, I'm also curious, who is Angelika? So if you could just please do introduce yourself a little bit, share a little bit about your background, where are you from? Who were you before becoming a VA? All of that stuff.
Yeah, so hi, good day, everyone, wherever you are in the Philippines right now. So my name is Angelika Archaga. Everybody calls me Angel, so you can you can do so as well. So before being a VA, I've been doing a lot of corporate jobs, jumping from one company to another. I've been an executive assistant for a hotel. I've been to a call center agency. I've been an agent for a real estate company. I've been a business owner. But I ever since I was a kid, for about 12 years old, I have been a breadwinner for my family. So when things like kind of went south on the business, I thought that maybe I should go back to being employed. So that's where I found Spear in my life.
Wow, that's really nice. And I can really tell the experience that you mentioned earlier, you've been here and there, experienced a lot of things on your end. So we can't wait to, hear those stories in detail. And of course, now that you've met Sphere Rocket, you mentioned with how really Sphere Rocket came into your life at that very moment. And actually, it's a great timing as well, as you've mentioned. So I want to ask, how did Spear Rocket impact or gave an impact towards your life? And how did Spear Rocket help you find the current role that you have right now?
Spear really impacted my life in a great and a big way. Before Spear, I was doing business. However, not every day, like not every business is meant to be successful. So during those times that the business is going on south, I was browsing through Facebook on what else I can do as a part-time because I've been in the BPO industry. I thought that maybe I could get myself a part-time job or so on. And then I saw Spear. It was giving an opportunity to work from home, and at the same time it matches your schedule to a client. So for me, what an opportunity this is. So what I did is that I applied for the job, and I got accepted right away. The process was so smooth. I couldn't be more positive, and I couldn't be more happy with how things went. right after I was accepted with my interview for the initial and final interview, after a week, I was already matched with a client. However, of course, not all clients are is a match to us. So I got matched. I got matched to my second client, which is a real estate company, which is was oh my god, was mind blowing to me. I have zero as in no experience in real estate. I have no knowledge or any background on real estate at all. But Spear was able to guide me. They were able to coach me to, as long as you're trainable, you will not have any problems with entering a new company, because as long as you have that skill of being trainability a trainability skill, anything is possible, any company is possible, as long as you're open to it, as long as you are willing to learn. So that's what Spear taught me. So when I went to that company treated me like a family. It was so heart warming to be on that company. Everybody is closely tight. Uh, we speak on a first name basis. We were comfortable with each other. We had respect for each other, in the same time that they value our opinions, our ideas, our thoughts as well. So during my time with that company, Spear never failed to check up on us. So, how are you guys doing? How are you guys like adapting to this environment? So, Spear never left us, even though we were handed over to that company already, where most people or most agency would just leave us be because we are already off their hands. But Spear never did that. Every time they would ask us if we need some coaching, and whenever we had a praise or compliments from our employers, Spear would never fail to have it be cascaded down to us. They would always tell us those good news. And having heard all those things, like, your employer said that you're doing such a great job, what an uplifting moment it is, what a motivational thing it is for us to keep on working, because working on this on at home can be somewhat, what do you call this, sometimes you lose the passion, sometimes you get demotivated, but Spear never left us. They kept on telling us, you're doing great, you're doing this is what you're doing wrong, this is what you can do. So they never, like, they were always there to coach us. So I was able to stay with that company for a long time because Spear was there to provide this kind of service to me. So really, I'm so thankful. That's why I'm still here. I'm still with Spear. So I wouldn't leave this VA agency for another one. I don't think any another agency would be able to give me that kind of experience. So
Awesome, awesome. That's perfectly well said, Miss Angelica. That's very lovely for you to share that kind of experience. And I love how you're so very open, to learn something new every day and to be loyal, of course, towards Sphere Rocket, as you've mentioned, because having Sphere Rocket really single-handedly, being there on really hands-on towards your journey from being hired to already in the process of being hired and all of that stuff, that's really that sense of care. It kind of sets them apart from other VA companies, and that's really one of the best thing of being part of the Sphere Rocket. Yeah, as what Miss Shireen said, being part of Sphere Rocket, it's family basically. So
yes,
it's one thing that's the one thing that really sets apart, most especially the bosses, the CEO that we have really is a very big inspiration. So I love that sharing experience you've mentioned there, Miss Angelica. And yeah, it's a very big eye opener as well to the audience, to the ones who are listening and watching right now. You guys, for those who are planning to become aspiring VAs, we will be hearing from Miss Angelica as well on her take on that, on how she will be, giving advice later on. But of course, I want to go deeper as well on, being part of being a VA. What do you think has been the most memorable part in doing that kind of job?
During my experience with that company, I never felt more welcomed in a company than my previous jobs. I've had a lot of setbacks in my personal life, and that company never left me. When you thought that a normal company like the previous companies that I've worked with would like, okay, we cannot take you in anymore since you're not able to do this. We are not able to, like, you cannot stay on this job anymore. I would be open, since this is a podcast. So I would share this that
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry if I'm sharing too much. You can always stop me.
No, it's okay. You're totally free to totally share anything you want. That is the platform for that. Yes. Take it away, Miss Angelica.
No, when I started with Spear, I was using a second-hand laptop. So, as since we did not have the enough funds for me to be able to purchase a new laptop for this kind of job, so I found this second-hand laptop that it would fit the requirement of being a virtual assistant, which was working fine for a few months. However, as time goes on, if you're using the laptop too much, because I like to take on projects, it's my first few months, I have to start strong. So I was taking on a lot of projects. The laptop somehow crashed little by little, and somehow my managers noticed that what's wrong, what's happening, you're not somehow present, your cameras are rarely on. So I have to tell them it's because my laptop is not working well, because it's a 2009 model of MacBook, so it's pretty old. So they said, "Oh, okay, why didn't you say so?" Then they sent me money. They sent me money to buy a laptop. So I was like, they asked, "Is this enough for you to buy a new laptop?" So I said, "Yes, it is enough. Thank you." Which is the laptop that I'm using right now. It's still here. So,
Wow, that's really nice. Oh
yes,
my gosh, that is one hell of a story there. And really one for the books, I can really tell. And yeah, how did you feel right after that?
I was so happy. I cried during that day. They sent me the money in a flash. They sent it to Wise in a flash. Is this enough? Then right after that, I bought the laptop. Cash, cold cash. I was so happy. And then I sent the picture, and then they said that it's okay since you're working really well and you're working really hard. You deserve it. They told me that. So I worked twice as hard. I've been employee of the month for a few months. Since they can't have an employee of the month twice in a row, they'll just give me an honorary mention. So I said it's okay, it's okay. But so for me, when they did that, I felt that I can really tell them when I have a problem. So not long after that, I had another problem. I opened up to them that my father was diagnosed with cancer, which was ongoing for quite some time, but my mother decided not to tell us. After some time, they couldn't hide it to us anymore.
I'm so
But we
sorry to
were
hear
not.
that.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But we were not living together with my parents, so I never knew until they needed help. So during those times, I opened it. They never asked money from me. They never asked a time or so on, but I knew they needed my help. So during those time, I opened it up to my boss. They said, "Why not take up a few more extra hours since you're doing so? We'll have you paid for the extra hours that you're staying for the company." And I said, "Is it okay? How about my other colleagues? Will it be okay for them that I'm having this extra time? I'm being paid for the extra time that I'm working." They said, "As long as you're productive, which you are doing so, it doesn't matter. We can pay you that overtime that you're working as of now just to help with your family." And again, during that time, I said, wow, they were really understanding. How and where are the possibilities that I would be with this kind of client? So what a great experience for me was it to work with with my previous client. So I would never forget them. They are my family. They would always welcome me back. Yeah.
Wow, that's really a lot of information, and of course, an emotional roller coaster ride there. You mentioned your experience there, Miss Angelica. I am very, very amazed by how your previous, boss really did have that sense of care, and really is very, very generous, giving more what they can, going the extra mile, just to not also, financially supply, since but they're there, morally there to support you. I could really, really feel that from here. And that's a very, very touching story. And it's really, really a big, big thing, big news actually to take when it comes to having a family member, diagnosed, most especially with cancer. So I'm very, very sorry to hear that. I also want to ask, if you don't mind asking, how your dad is going on right now.
He was given a few years to live, as his doctor said, but he decided not to go on with the medication that is supposed for him. So right now he's trying to live his best life. If he's gonna have a few years, then for him it's a few years. They decided to move out to a remote zone, just him and my mom, just so that they could have another honeymoon stage of theirs, enjoy their life together. So yeah, he's doing great. He's doing great. Please don't feel bad.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm actually slowly tearing up right now because it's I cannot imagine to be in that case, or like in those place of shoes where you are right now. And I just don't know, how do you maintain to have that certain strength right now? Where do you get that inspiration?
You know, having an inspiration varies from time to time. Sometimes, most of the times, I get it from my bills. Honestly speaking, I get it from my bills. I can choose to weep, cry, be sad all day, and not have money. But I can choose to get up, work, and try to find work and earn money because I need that money to live. If we don't have as much as it's like not in a perfect world, I would say that it's my family that brings me so much joy. It's the passion I have. It's the love for the people around me. It's giving to other people. In a perfect world, I would say that. And if only my circumstances were different, I would say that. But right now, the inspiration where I'm getting my inspiration is financial stability, looking
Mm.
into a future where you can fill up your ref, you can pay your bills, electricity, water, you won't have any overdues. For me, that's so much inspiration. It strikes up my motivation much
Yes.
more
It gives you that
to
drive.
yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Angelica. Yeah, I can totally agree. And that's really nice to become very productive, of course, in a way, in a positive way, for you to gain more drive, more motivation to keep on keeping on every single day, to do that certain job that you're doing and being focused, and with that certain strength or whatever emotion that you feel, or that certain experience, you put that into work, and that's how you become, that's how everything comes to work as well. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that very inspiring message. We're actually down to our last question, and then right after that, we have our commercial break. So please stay tuned. We've got a very short surprise prepared for you. So I know there are a lot of virtual assistants that are watching or tuned into our podcast right now. So if you could give a piece of advice to them, what do you think would it be?
Know yourself, know your skills, know your strengths and your weaknesses. You will need that when you're applying for a job. If you know yourself, you will know how to market yourself properly. If you do not know what your strengths and your weaknesses are, you will never pass an interview. If you know what you can offer, then show it to your don't then show it to the company that's interviewing you. If you have your weaknesses, be honest. Be honest on the weaknesses that you have. Tell them what weaknesses you have, what setbacks you have, and how you are working on it. Your weaknesses cannot stay as a weakness. It has to be something that you're working on constantly. No, nobody is perfect. You will always have a fault or a problem with yourself. But it's important to work on those things so that it will move. Something will happen on those flaws that you have. So yeah, know how to market yourself properly and be confident. You can do it.
Yes, perfectly said there, Miss Angelica. Thank you so much for giving out that very inspiring message to those aspiring VAs who are watching right now. So you've heard it, guys, from Miss Angelica herself. You've got to know yourself, use that as your strength. Thank you so much once again, Miss Angelica. And yeah, with that said, we've got a very short commercial break. So please do stay tuned. Sphere Rocket Podcast Network. We'll be right back. Ever dreamed of swapping your hectic office for a comfy home workspace? At Sphere Rocket VA, we make that dream a reality. Say goodbye to rush hours and hello to remote work. Enjoy more time with family, more time for yourself, all while building your career. Interested? Apply now at www.spherejobs.ph. All right, and welcome back to the Sphere Rocket Podcast Network. On our episode for today, we've got once again our awesome guest, inspiring guest, actually, Miss Angelica. Hi, Miss Angelica, once again. Welcome
Hi,
back.
guys.
All right, all right. So yeah, before we proceed to the last segment of our podcast, is there any shout outs you want to give out to the world? Any promotions that you want to give out? Your social media accounts, perhaps, all of this stuff?
I'm not that active on social media, but for anyone who is looking for dogs right there, puppies there's who's looking for giant cuddly breeds, anyone can message me. I have Great Dane puppies available. They are well tempered, they are of great health, so anytime you can message me for a puppy of your own. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so shocked you didn't mention about
So
that of the
much.
field and so random. You have
Sorry.
puppies.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. No problem. No worries about that. But what kind of puppies do you have? Oh my gosh, I love puppies.
I have Great Dane puppies.
Great Dane puppies. That is good.
Bernard.
Puppies.
Yes.
Do you have them right now with you? Could you show us?
Oh, they're sleeping outside. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's all right. But oh my gosh, suddenly my heart just skipped a beat there. So yeah, oh my gosh. So once again, Miss Angelica has Great Dane and Saint Bernard puppies. For those who are interested, I'm interested. I love puppies. So yeah, how many months are already?
I have 4-month-old puppies.
I bet their eyes are still closed. Are the eyes still closed? Oh, that is so cute. That is so cute. All right. Thank you so much, Miss Angelica. That is wow. I'm just so happy. Okay. Anyway, so we're actually down to the last segment for our podcast episode, and this is what we call the lightning round. This is just like fast talk. I'm gonna pitch in some questions, throw some questions, and you tell me the first thing that pops into your mind. All right. Are you ready, Miss Angelica?
Nervous. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. First question: day off or bonus pay?
Bonus pay.
All right. Favorite social media platform?
Facebook.
Voice or non-voice?
Voice.
What is your go-to midnight snack?
Grilled cheese.
Wow. Coffee or tea?
I'm sorry.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Dream country to visit?
Japan.
Most expensive purchase?
My dogs.
Ooh. And lastly, one word to describe Sphere Rocket.
Family.
Family. Love that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Angelica. That ends our podcast episode for today. Thank you so much for sharing that beautiful and inspiring story and your journey as well. We really, really appreciate having you at our podcast. And yes, with that being said, this has been Julia officially signing off, wishing everybody to enjoy the rest of their day. And thank you so much. See you again on our next episode on Sphere Rocket Podcast Network. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye. Thank you, Miss Angelica. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Do you want to apply as a Sphere Rocket virtual assistant? Well, look no further because this video is for you. I will be telling you which requirements you will need to submit in order to apply to our new website, plus a few tips and tricks to help you with your initial interview. We have achieved a better way for you to send in your application, so let's begin. Step 1. Visit our website
at www.spherejobs.ph.
Step 2. Fill in the application by inputting your full name, email, number, and other questions that you will need to answer in order to move on to the next step. Step number 3, send screenshots of your updated CV, Tony Robbins PDF result, internet speed screenshot with a minimum of 10 Mbps, a scanned copy of your government ID, and your portfolio with sample works. Step 4. Click the submit button and wait patiently for our email. Now here are some tips on how to stand out during your initial interview. Tip number 1. Dress up as if you were going to an in-person interview. Wearing something formal will give the interviewer a sign that you are serious about applying to this job role. Tip number 2. Find a quiet space where your interview will be held. There's nothing worse than getting distracted by the noise around you and not being able to understand what the interviewer is saying. Number 3, be yourself and show up as confidently as you can. Know what you bring to the table and honor your worth. Interested in becoming a part of our team? Submit your application now
at www.spherejobs.ph.
Good luck!